Hey everybody, my name is Lindsay.
Hey everybody, Lindsay here, and this is my review for The Substance. Somebody's got muscles. Someone's been doing arm day. The Substance, starring Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, Dennis Quaid. Written and directed by Coralie Fargate. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce her name, but she wrote and directed it. I was extremely excited to go see this movie. Just the marketing, just that first teaser trailer that they put out was extremely provocative. The styling of everything, the font and the music and the sound effects and everything, it piqued my interest right away. And also the fact that Demi Moore was in this, and it's a horror film. I love when aging mainstream stars start doing horror because you're always in for a treat. Good or bad, you're always in for a treat. And right away, just as this movie started, I knew that I was going to love it. I knew I was gonna love it. I loved the style of this movie, how it was shot, the color palette, the shot compositions were just perfection for what they were going for with this movie. The excess and the in-your-face, very visceral reactions to certain things, whether it was a crazy snap zoom or a crazy sound effect or an angle that they were giving you of the action that was going on. One of my favorite shots in this movie that they did a couple times was the garbage can shot is what I'll call it, where you're seeing the bottom of the trash, the point of view from the bottom of the trash can looking up. That was one of my favorite shots in this movie, and they did it a couple of times. It was very, very effective how they used that shot. I love that. The basic storyline of The Substance is it stars Demi Moore, and she's playing this aging actress named Elizabeth Sparkles, who won an Academy Award one time early in her career. And now what she's doing is she has this exercise show on a network exercise show. Who wouldn't want that? But she's getting up there, the ratings are starting to go down, and the executives, played by Dennis Quaid, to a T. I loved his performance. His performance was another one of my favorite things in this movie because it was so over the top and nothing I'd ever seen him do before.
At 50, well, it stops.
You know, we live in the age of social media, the age of youth and beauty culture. It's everywhere. You can't fucking escape it. And she's feeling the pressure, and she gets an opportunity to try this new drug called The Substance. They said it will be a better, younger version of you. It's everything better than you. Younger, smarter, faster, stronger, prettier, hotter. Has a better credit score. Takes its cart back to the cart return when they're at the grocery store. Sends a thank you note in a timely manner. Remembers to CC everybody on the email. They're better than you. So that's the basic story. And so she decides to take this drug with some unexpected results. My eyes were glued to the screen through this entire movie. I am so overjoyed with the horror we've been getting lately because it's just getting weirder and funner, and I can't wait for more. And horror is one of the few genres right now that are doing something original. We are getting original horror stories, original, inventive, modern horror stories that are still gross and sick and disgusting and scary, but can still give you a message without beating you over the head with it, or at least beating you over the head in a very fun and creative way. And this movie hit on two different fronts for me. I really identified with this movie on two different aspects. The first one was, of course, being a woman, getting older. Parts of you aren't going to work like they used to. Your beauty starts to fade. Things start to go wrong. Hairs start popping up in different places. It happens. But also when so much of our worth in this society can be tied to our beauty and how we look. And there's a lot of pressure on women to look a certain way and hold a certain standard, especially on social media and on the internet. Women are constantly told they need this cream or this piece of makeup or this injection or this surgery or this lift or this tuck or do this trick, and you need to contour here and highlight here and make sure you're doing your under eye treatment, lip treatment, nose treatment, put your frownies on, get your hyaluronic acid, your Botox, your vitamin E. You need your firming cream, your overnight cream, your morning cream. There's a lot of creams. There's so much cream. And to talk about the second front of how I identified with this movie, we're gonna have to talk about some spoilers. So going in from here on, it's spoilers. Spoilers for the substance, spoilers for the substance. Yes, Demi Moore takes the substance, and out of her back comes Margaret Qualley in spectacular practical effects sequences. Spectacular practical effects in this movie. They are phenomenal. Phenomenal. Bravo to the practical artists that worked on this movie. You did a fucking amazing job. Fucking amazing. Good job. A super effects heavy movie. And body horror. I love body horror. And that's where I started to really identify with this movie on another level. Because yes, she bursts out Margaret Qualley. She gets to have control and be functional for 7 days, and then she has to stick a needle in her and a needle in Demi Moore, and then they switch back, and they each get to be alive, quote unquote, for 7 days. And during that 7 days, they have to give this nutritional sustenance that the substance people deliver, and then she's got to go in the box. That's a whole other deal. Like, I love the details and the process of this movie. Like, you know, you got to inject the thing and do this and read the instructions, and I identified with all that so much because of my Crohn's disease and the medications that I have to take. For the longest time, I was taking injections all the fucking time. Needles, 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 all the time. And you had to put them in a certain part of your body. You had to read the directions, so you did the syringe thing right, and you have to do this and prime it and make sure you don't squirt it all over because it costs like $15,000 fucking dollars, all that kind of stuff. Thank God for insurance. And also the nutritional stuff that they were giving the resting body, I would say. The resting body looked exactly like the nutritional TPN that I was on for years. For years. And yes, just a lot of medical body horror in this movie, which I really appreciated. I love medical body horror. It freaks me the fuck out. It's so gross when she keeps jamming that fucking needle in to get more and more spinal fluid, and it's just getting pussy and abscessed and gross, and she's like, well, I want to fuck this guy who has a Ducati, so fuck it. And this is also in the vein of this female-centric horror that is so creative with how they tell the story. Movies like this, Ginger Snaps, Jennifer's Body, where it's talking about a very real female issue through the guise of a really gnarly horror story. It's like, that's just the best thing. I love that shit. And really what this movie boils down to is, what is the substance? What is the substance? Yes, it is the drug in the movie that causes all the chaos, but the substance is the drug of attention and the drug of feeling worth through attention that you get. I've seen a lot of people online blow up big very, very quickly, and then when that attention starts to go away, they get desperate. They can get very desperate, start doing things that they wouldn't normally do, because they need that attention to get those likes, those clicks, those shares. Without attention, you don't get any of those. And so it can get very addictive when you get a real taste of it. And with social media, how it is these days, it's very alluring, especially to younger people. And there seems to be this frenzy to compare ourselves and keep up with the people that we see online, when we don't realize that they have teams of people that are helping them look that way, and then a stylist and a hairdresser and a makeup artist and a personal assistant and a chef and a trainer and all of this kind of stuff that goes into some of these influencers and these celebrities and stars and how they look. And the normal everyday person who is just, scrolling through TikTok, Instagram, or whatever, or just being advertised to on the internet in general. It can be extremely intimidating, it can be extremely demeaning, and it can make you feel like shit. And this movie covers those themes so well that they're just woven into the narrative of the story. So as you're going through the story, it's like it's not just coming right at you all the time.
Let's go.
It's so well done. I just fucking love this movie. It's so much fun. It's so good. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. Demi Moore is fearless in this movie. That bitch is fearless. She deserves an Academy Award nomination for this movie. It's time Hacksploitation gets its day. Go see The Substance. Well, that's gonna do it for this little video. So until next time, this is Lindsay signing off. I'll check you later.